Hi, this is Freedom from Condo Planet. I want to welcome you to another episode of our video series on condos for rent in Mississauga. Today I want to address the 5 things every tenant should know about their lease agreement. Now, if you're searching for condos for rent in Mississauga, or you already are living in a condo, you'll want to check this list out. You want to know what these 5 things are that every tenant must know about their lease agreement. Knowing these things could save you a lot of time and help you avoid some big problems. The first thing you need to make sure of is that your landlord is the right match. Okay, what I mean by that is that the landlord's name that's specified on the lease agreement, you need to verify whether that name is indeed the owner of the condo that you're wishing to lease or that you're already leasing. Okay, this can be easily done and verified by the realtor, who could do a land registry check on that particular condo unit. And if they're not able to find it on the land registry, they could at the very least, verify the relationship of the landlord's agent with the landlord to ensure that this person is indeed who you think he is. One should do their very best to avoid being a victim of rental fraud, where people are posing to own condos for rent in Mississauga that they are not the owners of. Now, fortunately, this is not a common occurrence, but I think, and we at Condo Planet firmly believe, that it's part of due diligence to protect you, our tenant client, from such fraud. It's very important to do our best to verify the identity of the landlord and to ensure that they are indeed the owner, so that it doesn't end up being that you provide a first and last month's rent deposit to the landlord, who in turn just disappears. Now, the second important element that you need to know about your lease agreement is you have to get the timing right. Not all leases for condos in Mississauga are for a 1-year term. It all depends on what you negotiate and what's on the actual lease agreement. Some lease agreements are for shorter terms. They could be 6 months, 3 months, 9 months. And also, lease agreements can be for 2 to 5 years. It really all comes down to what's on the paperwork. So you have to ensure that what you want is what's on the agreement itself. Okay? Now keep in mind that when the term ends, that doesn't mean that your agreement expires. It automatically converts to a month-to-month lease agreement, and it's still a valid contract. The number 3 thing you need to verify in your lease agreement are the penalties. Now this is a real gray area, because a lot of the penalties that are in place in many of the lease agreements for condos or for rent in Mississauga are actually illegal by the Landlord and Tenant Board, but they're still there. For example, a lot of landlords are charging penalties for NSF checks, but technically by the Landlord and Tenant Board, that's not allowed. A landlord is not within their rights to ask for a reimbursement of their losses. However, if you're consistently late, a landlord can file for an eviction for persistently late payments. And during the hearing, they can ask for a reimbursement of their full NSF charges plus a $20 fee on top. So for example, if the NSF fee was $50, the landlord could pursue a $70 reimbursement with that $20 penalty on top. Now, as always, for further rules regarding this, you can always contact the Landlord Tenant Board or reach out to us at Condo Planet. Now, the 4th thing you need to ensure is that the condo is going to be clean when you get it. Don't assume that the landlord is automatically obligated to clean it. In fact, according to the Landlord Tenant Board, they're not obligated to. As long as it's in a good condition, it's good enough. But for us here at Condo Planet, we ensure that in the paperwork, there's a clause that particularly spells out that the landlord has to provide that premise in a real clean condition, have it professionally clean so that you can be happy with it, and it's just one less problem for you to deal with. The last important, number 5, important thing you need to know about your lease agreement is that no money, no deal. Just because you sign the lease papers doesn't mean that the lease is binding. You have to, by law, provide the first and last month deposit within 24 hours of a signed agreement. To avoid any such fraud transactions and landlords running away with money, it's a bank draft or certified check payable to the real estate brokerage. That's the listing brokerage. So that money is held in a trust account, and it's only released to the landlord when you officially sign off that you got the keys to your new condo. So it's a very secure process, but what you need to understand is that you've got to get that check to them, and you got to do it in a timely fashion. So that summarized the 5 things you need to know about your lease agreement. As always, if you have any further questions or concerns, you can reach us here at Condo Planet. Thanks for tuning in. Have yourself a wonderful day.